Hello viewers, welcome back to our channel. In the last class we talked about some vocabulary that you come across in your study of genetics. So in this class we'll continue with some of those vocabulary, and today we'll be starting with genome. The genome of an organism is that organism's whole hereditary information that is encoded in its DNA, and it includes both the coding and the non-coding sections of that DNA. And then we have the genotype. The genotype is simply the combination of alleles. Combination of alleles in an organism. It is the genotype that determines how that organism will look. For instance, in Mendelian genetics we have three genotypes based on the idea of dominant and recessive alleles, and they are homozygous, dominant, homozygous recessive, and heterozygous. Okay. Homozygous means that the organism has identical copies of an allele for a particular gene. For instance, let's say the gene for height is this. This is the dominant allele for the gene for height, and this is the recessive allele. So a homozygous dominant individual has two of this, that is two of the dominant allele. Then we have homozygous recessive. This means that the individual has the recessive allele in two copies. So in this case, let's say the dominant allele will give us a tall individual. So this individual will be tall, while this individual will be short. Now the heterozygous genotype indicates that the individual has different alleles for that particular gene. In this case, the gene for height, this individual's genotype will be this, and we will have a tall individual, though he has a mixture of alleles, the dominant and the recessive. So that brings us to phenotype. The phenotype of an individual is the physical expression of a trait, that is the physical features or characteristics that you see. For instance, hair color, the shape of the nose, height, and others. And like the example I gave before, we have this individual being tall. That's the phenotype you are seeing. This being tall also, even though the genotype shows that he has the allele for being short. And then we have this, a short individual. So like I said, it is the result of the genotype. So next we have generations. Generations are the organisms that, let's say, the organisms that belong to a particular period of time. For instance, we have three generations. We have P, F1, F2. The P generation stands for the parental generation. Those are the organisms that you bring and cross to, or you mate to get the next generation. This is usually done when you are trying to find out more information about a particular gene or a particular feature or phenotype in an organism or in a lineage. Then we have the F1, which stands for the first filial generation. These are the offspring of the parental generation. So when you cross this, the children or the offspring they have is called the first filial generation. And then when you cross individuals from the first filial generation, you will get the second filial generation. That means these are the offspring of the first filial generation. Also, if you cross individuals from the second filial generation, you will get the F3 generation. If you cross individuals from the F3, you get F4, and so on. So we would like to know all these genes, DNA, traits, and all the rest. Where do all these things take place, or where are they found? They are found in the cell. The cell is said to be the fundamental unit of function and organization in organisms, in living organisms. So in our next class, we'll be talking about how the cell, how we came to know about the cell, and how the cell helps an organism to perform its daily functions. So if you like this class, please like our video, share with your friends. Don't forget to hit the notification icon so that you get updates for whenever we post a new video. Thank you for watching.